Welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world in distinctly Australian accents from across the country, as long as across the country means somewhat up north and south down the eastern seaboard. This is episode 227. We are recording live on Sunday, Sunday, February 21st, 2021. This week we'll be talking about Unicron, because the Chaos Bringer is nearly here. He's closer for some of us than others. So there's some new Kingdom releases just around the corner. There's some new Masterpiece figures also just around the corner. There's a lot of corners being discussed in this show. And all that and more is coming up on this week's episode of Australian Transformers Weekly. Did you see how smooth that was? Did you see how smooth that was? That was smooth. That was smooth. Now I'm ruining it by talking about it. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jason. Joining me this week, we have Brad making his return to the podcast for 2021. How are you doing, mate?
Hello, guys. I'm back with a vengeance.
Almost. Are you back with a vengeance? Is this a vengeance face that I see?
No.
Fair enough.
No, just sitting back on a Sunday arvo, ready to talk Transformers once again.
It's a great idea. I'm in favour of it. Also back this week, we have Tony Kim joining us. Now, Tony, you are still in Sydney, I believe.
I am, yes.
You're actually just based in Sydney now, because you used to be based in Melbourne.
I did, yeah. I had to move up here for some work, and I've never left. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, I am enjoying Sydney though a lot more than I was enjoying Melbourne. I got to say.
This is how I ended up in Sydney as well. I moved here for work, and
is that right? Okay.
It's now it's now like 11 years later. So Sydney is like a time warp.
Yes.
So how are you doing, guys? It's a lazy Sunday, afternoon/evening. We missed out on doing a podcast last week. We couldn't quite get some timing right. So this week we've decided to do a Sunday evening stream. How's that sitting with you all?
Quiet weekend. I've just had a week off work, so I'm prepped. I'm prime.
I've had a quiet weekend as well. Like basically all my weekends are quiet at the moment. Tony, have you been out having a banger?
I wouldn't say a banger per se, but I've still been doing this whole thing that I don't know if you guys do it, but I've got all of the toys, the Transformers toys that I want, but I still feel the need to go out to a local Kmart and Target and just take a look around, and then pick up more stuff that I didn't actually need.
So now that you own all of the figures that you want,
yes,
do you feel the need when you go into the store to just like tidy their display? So just like straighten it up, and you're like, maybe the next person will want Cup if he's placed precisely next to Blur.
Yes, well, if it's Cup or Blur, I feel like you'd have to turn the box facing the other way, because those toys are so ugly that you'd be doing the customers a favour, and you'd be doing the store a favour as well.
I can't breathe in surprise with any more veracity than I already have.
You get so close to that as well. Jason, you may need to reach under that table and get out the lockbox. 5461 is the password, and get the key out for the straitjacket because he needs it.
I regret to inform you, but we had to change the key. We had to change the key for the straitjacket so that you couldn't get out of it after tonight's Unicron discussion. Look, I think we should get into it. We have a limited time of a Sunday evening. We're going to talk about a little bit of news. We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news.
Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from by yonder?
There's a rare beast that's happening in the next 2 weeks. There is actually an event coming up in Sydney. TCCA is returning to the convention circuit for 2021 after the year that was 2020 for everyone. We are going to be at the Oz Comic Con Popup event, which is it's a community-based event that Oz Comic Con is running March 6 to 7, 2021. So 2 weekends from now, we're going to have a table there. We're going to have a variety of things to do, but we're not entirely sure what we can do because of COVID restrictions. So we're waiting to hear back from Oz Comic Con, but we'll be there in some way, shape, or form. So do come out come to the event and come say hello. There's going to be. I will tell you what we've got planned for the stage for the event at this stage, and I can't tell if any of this is going to work or not. We're going to have a Matrix photo booth so that for the 35th anniversary of Transformers the movie, you will be able to take a photograph of yourself lighting whatever darkest hour you might desire. We will have. At this stage, we are planning to have a HasLabs Unicron on the stand. So the biggest Transformer ever will be on the stand if you want to come by and see him in person. It would kind of be try before you buy, except everyone bought him 2 years ago. We are planning to do some speed forming contests.
With HasLab Unicron.
Oh God! How many days does the event run? I'm not sure.
You're gonna have to add an extra day to that calendar, I think.
Yeah, I think the speed forming contest might be next year. So yeah, no, we're planning to do a speed forming contest if we can in a COVID safe way, and we're also planning to have a very special custom on the stand, assuming we can make it work. Long time users of our Facebook group would be familiar with Michael Fouché, who's M's Toy Customs, and he is currently customizing a Netflix Bumblebee into Goldbug. Now, this is a very detailed change. We're going to detail more about what's going to happen with this in the coming weeks. He's given it a very shiny coat of gold paint. The figure still transforms. He looks very much like his comic reference with gold and blue panels. And he's also swapped the head over and he's given him a resin cast head based on the Generations Goldfire toy. So there's a lot of gold and blue happening on this figure. It's going to be one of a kind. We are currently planning to run it as all tickets paid go to the Royal Children's Hospital fundraiser. So you'll be able to get your hands on one of a kind custom from M's Toy Customs, and we're going to have the figure on the stand to show off to people just exactly what happens when you go and customize a toy to this level. So there's 4 things that we're planning to do. We're gonna have a go at doing some of them, and we'll see what we're allowed to do. So as I said, we're still negotiating with Oz Comic Con, but we're planning to be there in a big way.
Jace, will there be a booth where people can get your autograph and photos with you for a $15 or $20 a pop?
So the way that I tend to run things is that I tend to charge people cost price. So like they'll have to pay for the amount of ink that comes out of the Sharpie, which is probably about 3 cents.
Okay, so that's value for money then, right?
It's totally value for money. Yes.
I know people listening would be asking: is there an opportunity for those that do not attend the event to go in the draw in the raffle for that gold?
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna run the raffle for Goldbug on everything that we can, because we want to bring in as much money as we can for this and donate it to the Royal Children's Hospital.
Yep. I've got to say, I saw an early version of the Goldbug, and the paint that Michael's chosen looks beautiful.
Yeah, the paintwork looks amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
If you're in our Facebook group, on Wednesday nights we do group video chats, and Michael's been popping up and showing us his custom works over the last couple of weeks on the Wednesday nights in those chats, and it looks amazing. Like it looks like it's come off the production line with a shiny gold paint finish. So
fantastic.
He does fantastic work, and yeah, we can't wait to show it off to everyone. So that's what I've been working on this week. There's one other thing that I've been working on this week, and that's a segue to the next story, which is Unicron is finally here. And when I say I've been working on this week, I've been working on importing some of these because that's what I do. I can say that I've actually now brought 5 Unicrons into the country. So this is becoming a thing now. Unicron is on his way to market. A lot of people were concerned that Unicron would run horribly late and come out in December or thereabouts. But no, he's shipping out. He's shipping from specialty stores across Asia. So we're talking about places like Robot Kingdom, which I've got on screen, Robo in Singapore, and Unrivaled Collectibles, also in Singapore, I know have got stock and have sent it out to customers. We do know that there is an Australian release for this figure coming in March, and this has been updated. I think it was from Ozformers that said EB's bringing in the stock, possibly not all at once. So they might so they might favour the people who can actually pay off their pre-order first, and then if you can't pay off your pre-order all at once, then you might get stock later in the year, that kind of thing. So we don't quite know what they're going to do with that, but that's what we think they're going to do. We also do know that some orders have been cancelled. 2020 was a pretty crappy year for a lot of people, so it's not really surprising if people can't afford an $850 Transformer. So some orders have been cancelled, so there will be some stock available to purchase, but we don't know when it will be sold or how much it will be sold for. And on that note, I would also just point out that there are lots of places that you can go on the internet that will sell you a Unicron for a really, really high price. And if you look at my screen, I've got that Robot Kingdom page up there. Now, I just mentioned $850 as the price for Unicron, and
Australian.
long-time listeners will know that we got a great price on Unicron from Hasbro Australia and from EB Games. So it's been fantastic to be a Transformers fan in Australia and go out and buy a Unicron, because we got pretty much the best price outside of the US themselves, and we didn't have to pay for it up front. So we put $100 deposit down, and now we have to pay the other $749. There are much more expensive versions going online. Robot Kingdom is selling their excess stock for $1,500 US.
It's a pretty penny.
That's a lot of pretty pennies. Yeah. Now, this is the one listing that I've seen on Robot Kingdom for a sought after item that has not gone out of stock for some reason. We can try and work out why.
It's because they're not offering afterpay, I think, Jace. That'd be the reason.
One lump sum payment.
That's right. You can't spread
it's entirely
it out.
possible. Now, I will point out that we do know that at least one member of our Facebook group has purchased a Robot Kingdom Unicron. I'm not saying they purchased it at $1,500. I think they got in on the pre-order when it was up at its original price. So they're definitely available. They're definitely shipping out. This is excess stock for them. Now, I will also just point out, if you missed the boat and you do want a Unicron, this is probably not the way to go about it. But if you do want a Unicron, drop me a line, because I can import Unicrons for just a little over $1,000.
Well,
it's 900 Singapore dollars, and then it's about $150 to $170 to import it. So if you are after one, let me know. There's still a few available. What were you going to say, Brad? Sorry.
Well, I didn't want to undercut you, but if you are after one for cost price from EB Games, let me know, because I am going to offload mine.
Brad is about to have a meltdown and tell us why he doesn't want Unicron anymore. So we're going to go over here and we're going to look at some in-hand photographs. As I said, the figure has been released. It is out there, and people are getting their hands on it and taking lots of pretty photos. So there's been much made about the colour of the planet mouth, and also the planet mode itself. So, Tony, I want to know what your feelings are on the colour, because I know what Brad's feelings are. But I'd like to hear from Tony first, and then we might see what Brad's got to say.
Without tripping over anything that Brad might say, I feel like the colour of the mouth is a bit of a slap in the face to people who have actually ordered this thing based on the pre-order pictures from 2 years ago.
Just hang on. I'm just gonna go back to the Robot Kingdom.
Yeah, that photo there it is.
Look at that. That's
Hello,
the one.
look at that.
Yep. That's what everybody paid for. And for those people listening, it's a picture of a very nice yellow-looking mouth with no blue.
Is there a headshot there as well, Jace?
Yes. This one?
Now, can you zoom into those teeth?
Yeah.
No.
No, that's all right. Keep going, Tony.
No, that's cool.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. That's beautiful. So you can see nice silver teeth. There's no random blue paint on that. So my feel, guys, is that this is not good customer practice by Hasbro to basically bait and switch Transformers fans with one version of a toy and then deliver another version that arguably is not true. Oh, yeah, look at those blue teeth. That is not accurately sort of representing what's in the cartoon. But even outside of that, just putting the pre-orders up when they did the whole HasLab stuff and they were trying to get to 8,000 people, people got in on that on the basis of certain pictures. And if you don't deliver that, you know, you deserve, you know, all the bad luck that goes to you as a retailer. This is not on. Like, I'm really unhappy about it. I didn't order a Unicron, and I'm not going to because of this issue.
Is that comic art there taken off this and not something else?
That's the instructions.
Oh, okay.
So there's a photograph on screen. So we've got a post from TFW with in-hand photographs, and there's a photograph of someone holding up the instructions, which do show an orange mouth.
No, it's got the grey inserts there, though.
Is that a shadow or a grey insert? Looks like more like a shadow.
I don't know. Can you tell from the 5 pixels? I think it looks orange to me.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing.
So before I hand over to Brad to tell us about how he's swearing off Unicron for the rest of existence, I'm gonna take a different stand, Tony.
Okay, please.
I think the colours improve it. I think the grey around the planet mouth actually makes the teeth stand out more. And I also think that people are ignoring the fact that they've actually darkened the color palette of the entire figure, and I think that makes it more screen accurate. Because if you look again at the picture that the guy's holding, there's a very light orange on the body of the figure. And if we go back to this, like look at the light orange on the head and on everything else on here. Compare that to the dark orange that you get on the finished product, and I think it's much better.
But that's a difference between shade of the same color versus a completely different color.
Sure, but this is one of the things that people are complaining about is the fact that they've changed some of the paint applications.
I would argue that the mouth is the bigger issue, but yeah,
I think the paint applications look fine, and I also think the planet mouth looks fine as well. Brad, you disagree?
This has been talked up so much shocking.
I know it kind of has.
I haven't been absent for 15 so episodes just to come back and be a complete Debbie Downer. As you're saying, with the different shades of orange around that circle around the mouth, there are the darker orange, then there's some circles around that of the light orange that are using a two-tone of orange around that. My biggest issue here is that it's a lot of money. We paid for a product. I've been burnt before by statue companies that have displayed photos, production photos of things. This is what you're paying for, and when it comes out of the box, it's something completely different, and you've just paid $700-800 for it. And it's not only depressing; it's really demoralising when you're paying a lot of money for stuff that sometimes you can't afford, and it comes out of the box looking like this. I've watched a couple of reviews. The more the face, the grey in there, I don't think that's as bad as what's happened with the head. The fact that he's got silver teeth at the top and just molded plastic for the bottom teeth, for me, that's the more egregious part of this figure. And I just don't want it anymore. It's just completely taken all enjoyment for the figure out of it. That and watching the transformation too. I hope it comes in, or it's either going to come in one mode or the other. Whatever mode it comes in the box.
He does come in planet mode in the box.
That's how it'll stay, because I don't mind the more over the face.
So there's actually been a few photographs. I don't actually have them on here, but there's been some photographs that have come out during the week that show if you undo 3 particular screws, you can actually remove all of the planet kibble from Unicron's robot mode, and you can assemble it in the planet as a planet. So you can actually kind of get both planet mode and robot mode Unicron out of the same figure.
Yeah, well, it only hangs off those arms, so I don't think it'd be too hard at all. The biggest thing would be where the stand attaches to the planet, or because I think it goes.
Well, there's going to be a gap in the planet mode at the back because that's where the arms fold up and the spike come out, and that's obviously in use on the robot. But I think it's interesting that you could sort of get a planet mode out of him as well, so you don't have to buy two. It's a money saving feature.
Jason, we all know we don't display our figures backwards. It's fine if there's a hole at the back of the planet. It's fine.
This is also true. I also want to point out there's been a bit of discussion going on about the left arm in these displays, because we can see it on this one where there's particular screw holes visible on the left arm, and I think I've seen in some of the images, I've seen a large sprue of orange plastic pieces that I think form gap fillers for those screw holes. And if you look at some of them, there you can sort of see an area where the screw hole on the right is sort of on the left arm is matched by a blank panel on the right arm, and so I think there's some gap fillers that will actually improve the look there. But I think a lot of the people who've taken early photographs of this figure coming out of the box, I don't think they've actually realised that they can do that. Because I've seen photographs that show no gaps in the arms, and I've seen photographs with gaps visible in the arms.
Jace, can you go back to that previous photo that you just had up there? Am I wrong if you look at... No, sorry, go forward one.
No.
Go forward one. No, that's it. Am I wrong in saying that the paint, the orange, we're talking about different shades of orange, but if you look at his legs on the top of his thighs, am I wrong in saying that there's a different shade of orange there as well?
Are you talking about this part here?
Yeah.
No, because I think that's where the light falls on it from the person's lighting studio.
Because even if you go to the previous photo before this one, so the bit on his chest where there's that sort of red sort of light bar, if you like, that looks very different to the shoulders and the horns.
I think it's just the light.
That's what they said about Sunstreaker. And you know what happened there, Jace?
my Sunstreaker is fine. What's your problem?
Is there a reverse shot of the back, even though we say it shouldn't be displayed backwards? Is there a backwards shot?
Probably is. There you go. You can have a look at Unicron's ass.
No, I'm more so... Oh, that doesn't show the arms at all.
Where were you hitting on that, Brett?
I'm just wondering if they've just moulded the same arm and had one forwards, one backwards to save cost, since they didn't have so many backers.
I don't think they did, but you can actually see what you're talking about here on the back of this
Same
arm.
detail.
But I have seen photographs that have no screw holes in them, so
okay.
I'm pretty sure that there are gap fillers that you can use to fix that up.
Yeah. No, you guys have been talking the last few weeks about Grapple and some other figures from Kingdom and Earthrise that have been suffering from QC issues, and they're only a $50 figure, where this, for the money they want for this, if you pre-ordered it, and those now that didn't get it originally want to go and, God help you, paying $1,500 US or more for it. It's just, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Especially when the third-party companies, from what I've seen last time I was looking at them, seem to be doing a better job.
So I will just point out that there have been no QC issues reported thus far that we've heard. As far as the third parties, you would be referring to the Zeta Unicron. He's not as big as this, and also he does have a few little quirks of his own. So he's
sure he does.
He's a dual facing planet. He's got a mouth and an ass. And he's also got abs on his back because they basically tried to design him as symmetrical as possible. Zeta's done an interesting job, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a more accurate job. This version of Unicron definitely looks, with the arrangement of the circles and the panel lines and stuff, definitely looks like what I'm familiar with seeing in the cartoon and even in comics as well.
Not to labour the point, but I still feel like this is, if this had happened in Australia, for example, if you went to a Harvey Norman, for example, and you wanted to buy a couch, right, and you buy a green couch, and then when it comes time to deliver that couch to your place, it's red, right? How are you going to feel about it, first of all? But secondly, people like the ACCC would have a field day with stuff like this, with his misleading and deceptive conduct. It's the old bait and switch tactic.
I'm gonna stop you there because I don't believe it is.
I think it is. Yep.
I don't believe it is, and I'll explain why. It's because when you back Unicron, we were made aware that these were not final images that we were buying into, and that final colors may vary. So I don't think it's misleading and deceptive. I do think it's perhaps a little bit unfortunate because there is no point in the cartoon at which Unicron's mouth is depicted the way that it has turned up on the toy. But as I said, I feel like it actually increases the contrast on the final toy. Like I think the change is for the better.
I'm going to stop you right there, Jason. Look how hollowed inside that hand is. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hands look great when they're posed sideways, but wow, that's hollow. Anyway.
I think we have to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
I think we have to agree to disagree. I don't think it's for the better. Yeah. I just feel like it's one of those things where you can you could go either way. Like you could look at it black and white, which is how I feel I'm looking at it, or you could do a grey, which is what I think you're looking at.
But if you look at it black and white, then you won't see the orange.
Well, I'm gonna add blue to it. Do you reckon those legs look blue and not grey?
Yes.
I think no. I don't think it's blue, but I think there's definitely a particular shift in the blue towards grey, and I think that matches his on-screen appearance more.
Have you got a planet mode shot there? Because for some reason they want this to look like a planet and not just a planet robot. Because most of him is that light bluey colour, and then you've got grey panel lines and that to make them look like clouds.
Look, I don't think it's fair to call it blue. It is very obviously grey.
What? On the front of this picture?
I'm sorry, this is my rant. I say it's blue.
There is.
Sorry, Jason. Are you saying this is grey on the front?
What colour do you think the dress is? This is not blue. This is grey.
That's blue.
It is grey. It's grey.
Wow. Okay.
You guys need to get your monitor colours fixed up.
Because you can see there's some definitely grey paneling at the top of the circle, if you like.
You're talking about the light grey highlights.
No. On the very top of this
these
ball.
are silver.
That's silver, right? Okay, and I would silver/grey. Okay, but then underneath
no, it's silver.
No.
And then underneath it is grey. There's dark grey and there's light grey.
This is great. This is definitely
silver
the trend.
and grey, the same colour. One sparkly,
future episodes of Australian Transformers Weekly will be brought to you by the Pantone colour chart.
That is not grey. That is a blue. It's got to be blue.
It's not. You're saying that they've produced a blue Unicron.
Yes. This is
I thought they were trying to make it look like an actual planet.
I'm saying you're insane.
Yep.
So now they can put the
wait. Just since I've got the screen share up here, right?
Yeah.
I've got this page open here, right?
Oh shit!
So see how it's got a
don't look at that.
See how there's a blue button here that says blah. Yeah. There's a blue button there, and the blue button shows you. Hang on, I'll bring that over here. There we go. The blue button is definitely not the same colour as the planet.
Thanks for proving my point. Look at the shopping cart icon on that browser.
The shopping cart icon, which is a light blue.
And look at that compared to the Unicron surface. That is very similar in colour.
It's not at all the same. You guys are nuts.
Plus the magnifying glass is the same shade of grey.
So the big question is if this is grey and that's silver, is it all Mephisto's plan?
Or Agatha Harkness? I'm not sure.
Maybe. Oh, there's some spoilers. You guys are nuts.
That's
it's not blue.
Funny. Anyway. So hang on a sec. So Jace, the extra.
I'm gonna take this out of full screen mode, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna go for my developer tools in my browser.
Please do.
Right, where I can go blah, and I'm gonna go. Here's the eyedropper color. Right, I'm gonna pick the color from this page. I didn't want to do this, but I'm gonna. If I can get my extension to work.
Yep.
It's not working.
How fortunate for
no,
you.
it doesn't work.
How fortunate for you, Jace. Oh, it doesn't work, inverted commas.
No, sorry, pick colour from page. Here we go. Oh. Well, that hasn't worked at all.
Yeah, from page, not from the photo displayed.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, that's all right. I can fix that. I can fix that. Right, we'll do that. I'll just put this in a new tab. Right, we'll go over to the new tab. Here we go. Which colour would you like me to pick? Like you said, there's a lot of blue. So like
The blue, the main body.
you'd like me to pick the blue.
Go the blue bit.
All right.
The blue
so
stuff.
so this part.
Yes.
If you're saying
part.
that's blue, then you're saying that's blue.
Is that what is that what you'd like me to pick? I will just tell you that the RGB colour is 181, 180, 175.
Which means
If
blue,
anything,
right?
if anything, that's got less blue in it than it's got the other colours. Because grey should be the same colour for the red, green, and blue versions, right? The red, green, and blue values. 181 to 180 is about the same thing. 175 is far less blue. So there's actually less blue in that colour than there is red and green.
So you mean to tell me, Jace, that Transformers fans all around the world who are so aggro about this Unicron issue with the blue mouth and everything, that they're getting upset because it's...
Look, I
it's
found
actually
you a blue
grey now.
one. I found you a blue spot.
Oh, there is blue on there, Jace. Oh my
God.
God.
I found you a blue spot. It's in the shadow of something else.
No. It's quite clearly front and center. Anyway.
My last.
Do you mean this part down here?
Yeah, click on
also-
that. That's
Hang on.
That's my other major criticism. The fact in
well,
the movie we see those jaws going num num num, and they're not blue, and they haven't even.
I will just point out, to be fair, it's not working because it just said that was black.
Yeah.
Well, it's not painted. It is, but you can clearly see in the review there in the center of the jaws those big clam shells that come up and go num 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 and destroy what it's eating. I'd have to look at the cartoon again to see, but I'm pretty sure they're not blue / light blue grey.
Correct. Regardless of the color, you're absolutely spot on, Brad. It is not that color.
I'm so confused as to what color this is or isn't.
Perfect.
Unicron is going to eat this discussion for breakfast.
Order up.
All right. That bell means we're going to move on. We have failed to reach a consensus, but we are going to move on anyway. And we're going to talk about Kingdom.
Yes.
So there's some new Kingdom figures doing the rounds in Australia, and there's some in-hand images of core class Megatron. Now you got to remember this guy's tiny. He is smaller than a deluxe, and remember Huffer pictured on screen here with him is a tiny deluxe. So core Megatron, the core class in Kingdom is the new Legend scale figure, and this Megatron even comes with a weapon of himself, his old G1 gun mode, which is fantastic. He's available now in Australia. He has been spotted for sale at Toymate next to his Wavemate Starscream. You can pick these up for the princely sum of $20. What do you guys think of the new core scale? Have you guys purchased any of them?
I've got the Optimus.
Everyone's gone quiet.
I was just waiting.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just basking in the afterglow of my win in our previous Unicron discussion, Jace. That it was actually
fair enough.
blue. I'm glad your computer agreed with me.
Are you impressed by Megatron's blue color here?
No, that grey looks very grey, actually.
It is the same grey.
I think it's actually quite a nice little mold. I mean, I think I don't know if you've got a picture there of him in tank mode, but he does look quite. Yeah, he does look quite compact. Like really, that's a great photo of him next to the
Why
Siege.
is Megatron running?
Look, if you had articulation like Siege Megatron, wouldn't you pose like that?
He looks like David Hasselhoff in Baywatch in that pose.
There he is.
Yeah, look at that tank. That's great. That's a great little mini tank, and it follows on from the Starscream version that we were talking about a few weeks ago, where it's just a nice little mold, like a shrunken down version, miniature version, and is somewhat faithful to the larger size. Yeah, it's a great a great little. Great little
Yeah,
toy.
I agree. There is quite a lot of faithfulness to the larger size. I don't really like the fact that you need to use the gun to form the turret of the tank, but whatever. Like
Yeah.
you can get past that if you just sort of like blur your eyes and tilt your head at 45 degrees. That you don't notice it anymore. You might pass out and have a vision. So, like, I think they're fine. The interesting thing that I see about the core class figures for this year is that they're retreading the cast that they've done in previous years. So we've got Prime, we've got Megatron, we've got Soundwave, and there's we've heard that there's doing a Soundwave and Starscream, of course, and I've also heard mention in the past week that these guys are scaled to go with the new Titan class figure, which is going to be the Ark for this year. And so if you've got a giant Ark, then now you've got an Optimus Prime and a Megatron that's at the right scale to sit in it.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be the first time. Yeah. Yeah, we had all the Legends figures that worked with the Titan, the leader, Soundwave and Blaster, and that from Power the Primes, and at the play sets and Triptychon.
Yeah, when they were in like base mode and stuff, you mean?
Yeah, all that base mode stuff they're doing.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're actually a lot better if you continue that theory about the Titan arc. It's these guys would probably
It is.
these guys would probably scale quite well with the Unicron, right? Compared to the Hot Rod and the Galvatron slugs that you get that have no paintwork whatsoever, and they've just come straight out of the plastic factory.
Well, they definitely won't scale as well with Unicron as the little is it an Optimus Prime or a little Galvatron figure that comes
As
with
Galvatron, I think it was Rodimus.
He's tiny.
As well.
Yeah.
He's tiny. Yeah. And I think they gave another tiny thing. I think it was a tiny Prime in the Centurion accessories pack. So he scales with Unicron, even though the two never met.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to the question, do these scale better with Unicron? I think the answer is probably no.
You don't think so? Okay.
Well, I mean, like it's like they scale better on a scale of like scaling or not scaling at all to scaling, but it's not like they're in scale.
Right. Yeah, they still look good. They're great.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting stuff packed into him. Like he's sort of got a bit of like he's kind of got half a tank on his back, but yeah, I'm not really that inclined to kick up too much of a fuss about it.
Yeah, if that scales, just if I want the green one, I'll get a G2 version.
Yeah. There might be some interesting repaints of these in years to come. So far, we haven't really seen a lot of reuse of the core molds, but we know that Legends used to get 1 to 2 repaints each. So yeah. A little bit more Kingdom news. We're still with Wave 2, the Voyager figures. So Wave 2 Voyagers for Kingdom, we're talking about Inferno and Dinobot, which are seen on the screen share here. It's just a bit of a note. These figures are pretty much, I would expect to see them come out in the next few weeks, hopefully in Australia. They did appear in a Singapore department store a couple of weeks ago, but they are definitely now on general release from Singapore specialty stores. I've seen prices go up and notifications saying that they're now in hand. They have also turned up at a store in the USA, so I think it's only a matter of time before they release here. Now, Tony, you mentioned earlier that you've got all of the figures that you want. Does that count? Does that continue when a new wave of Kingdom comes out, or do you reset?
I'm going to have to rephrase that to the past tense. I had all the figures that I wanted, but yeah, no, this one is definitely very high on the must-get list, and also it's even higher now that I'm aware that the peg issue that the grapple mold had is apparently not a problem on this one, where they've actually managed to fix by making the size of the hole larger than it was on the grapple mold. So that's
I gotta say, I've heard conflicting things about that. I've heard that it's still not fixed, but then I've also heard that it's fixed. So it's possible that someone had a lunchtime special from the factory that might not have been complete. So
there is a photo doing the rounds that compares the grapple hole with the Inferno hole, and you can clearly see that the Inferno hole is a little bigger.
We're
right?
talking about a lot of holes tonight on this podcast.
Hashtag grapple hole.
Yeah.
Hashtag grapple peg.
Hashtag unihole. Yeah.
Unihole.
Wow.
But no, this one. Well, curious on though. Sorry, start again. I am curious though because these are obviously two of the characters coming from Wave 2, but there's meant to be Ultra Magnus. There's meant to be Huffer, and a few other Beast Wars characters as well. But for some reason, we're only seeing these two. Is that because they're a Voyager class, or?
So these two are the Voyagers for Wave 2.
Yeah.
Ultra Magnus is a leader class. He's a repaint and retool of the Siege figure, and Huffer's Deluxe.
Yes.
So just specifically here, we've seen the Voyagers come out, and that's the only information that I have on release.
Yeah. There's this weird sort of staged release that seems to happen where even with the SS86 stuff last year, we saw all the deluxes come out, and then it started with the Voyagers, didn't it? With Hot Rod and Scourge. Then there was another wave with the deluxes, and then there was a separate wave with the leader class Grimlock. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the same thing happening here with Kingdom Wave 2.
Yeah, so it helps if you don't mix terms up though. There's waves that have been released officially in terms of their designation, but then they come out to stores in particular waves as well. But we just need to find something different to name the second one. I think the fact is that things just don't get released all at the same time, and stock doesn't come to all stores in the same way. We definitely saw stores with deluxes in stock, while we also saw stores that didn't have deluxes in stock from the same chain. So I think people probably don't really appreciate that the way that national chains distribute stock amongst their stores is not necessarily something that we know and understand, and we sort of expect that if stock appears in one store, it's going to appear in all of them at the same time, but it doesn't. And sometimes it's simply because the truck had a flat tire and it couldn't get to the store in that time. We just really don't know a lot about how stores distribute stock. I've seen an attempt from someone to guess the route that a stock truck takes across Sydney restocking stores, and I just don't know if that's actually such a great idea to just try to get involved in things in that much level. I think if you try to guess that stuff, you go crazy.
Yeah, I went to my Target this weekend, just gone yesterday, and they finally had Hot Rod in there, which I had not seen earlier. So that's just how far behind. And yes, we're behind.
So Target has been behind in getting things, and I mean, Target days are numbered in Australia. A bunch of Target stores have already been converted to Kmart, and we also know from New South Wales sightings that the Target store at Rhodes that historically never had any Transformers in it. It's packed to the rafters with Transformers now that it's Kmart. So who knows what happens with this?
You guys have been collectors for a lot longer than I have, but in your history, have you ever seen a wave get released where all the figures in a wave make their way onto retail shelves at the same time?
Sure. Yeah, it's totally happened.
Yeah.
It's totally happened. It's 2021, it's been 2020, up is down, left is right. Things are weird in terms of stock making it out into stores and whether or not a box makes it on the truck. Who knows? There's... Like I said, I don't feel like it's worth trying to second guess it. We know what's in particular waves. We also know that some retailers don't order particular things from particular waves. So some retailers just seem a bit averse to leader class figures. So just because it doesn't come out at one store doesn't mean it never will. But it also might never come out at that store because we've only seen, I think, Studio Series 86 Grimlock has only appeared at Maya stores and Toymate stores in some places, but it's not at all of them. And EB Games. And ultimately, I think the story really is that it's in the process of being released, and the stock just hasn't made it out to all the stores yet. I think the truth is often just a lot simpler than people try to complicate it to.
Yeah. But on the case of Inferno, he looks great. I wish he'd come out 5 years ago with the Generations line and not what we got as a redo in Combiner Wars. Because put him in Earthrise now, it doesn't Look at those hollow legs, and even his ladder doesnn't look like it retracts at all either. So just,
I don't think the ladder retracts, but it does extend. So you can see.
well,
sort of see
if
the
it
full
goes in, it's got to
extent
come
of
out.
it. You can check in, but you don't check out.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
He will look pretty good next to the Siege Red Alert, though, I think. Is there a photo of him with that, or is it just these ones?
No, it's only these two.
Okay.
So these two were released by Takara. Sorry, these two photos were released by Takara.
Oh, Takara, okay. Yeah.
You can tell because it looks like a kitchen bench.
yeah.
Although actually with this photo, like I actually feel like Takara's photographer might be giving his game away a little bit because he's very clearly got sort of like an obvious bend in the paper. And there, so like he's got some kind of a texture. It looks like a metallic texture on the base. But yeah. Anyway, that's me. I'm always interested in this kind of stuff because the behind
Definitely
the
more
scenes
visible
aspects of that
there.
definitely interests me. It is. It's on an angle there too.
Yeah.
So yeah. What did we say? Are you guys interested in acquiring these figures?
Yes to Inferno, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No to Inferno. Dinobot, good try. I condemn Kingdom Beast Wars figures because I'm not going to be watching the show. I've got the Masterpiece ones. I have the original Beast Wars cartoon run. I don't want anything to do with this whatsoever.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Bradley was a little different on that, and he's also a Beast Wars fan. Is it because they've done something different to the toys here, Brad, or like
there's slight differences to the toys I've noticed, but mainly it's not going to be the same voice cast. It's not going to be the same animation, which probably isn't a bad thing. It's just
don't say that yet, but yeah.
Yeah, this is just if they're going to redo G1, which they do every year to G1, I don't know. It might be out of spite too. I've paid the money for the Masterpiece versions. Now we have cheap versions that certainly a lot of them do look cheap. I held the Rat Trap yesterday and gone, no, I'm sticking with the Generations one that came out a couple of years ago. It looks so much better. I'm not going to double dip on them. And as for the thing, we commented on Kingdom and Earthrise and Siege. People doing impersonations of Cullen and other Transformers in the voice talent. If you're going to do something, just get new talent in there. Don't intimidate or don't try and copy Prime or Cullen or any other ones. Put your own stamp on it. Do your own thing. Be a Gary Chalk or a Letter or whatever else, and just do your own thing with it. Stop trying to constantly recreate. We're getting that enough with the toys. We don't want to see it in the cartoons as well.
I'm just going to point out also that I think it's fair to be skeptical that the cartoon may not be any good because the first two installments have not been great. But also I don't think it's fair to criticize it for not being the original cartoon from the 90s. Like it was never going to be the original cartoon from the 90s, but as you said, you can just go and watch that anytime you want. Like let someone else play with these characters and do something new, even if it's not great.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's it. Do it. As we've been posting photos of the figures and that in chats and everything else, and I'm looking at what's coming out now for the Kingdom figures and going, well, this isn't matching what came out with the original Beast Wars, and you're saying, well, it's something new. Okay, it's something new. I don't have to like it. I don't want to criticize it.
No, you must like it. What the fuck, man? I require your like for this figure.
Complete obedience.
Yes, exactly. I think it's possible to look at the Kingdom figures as reimaginings or modernizations of the Beast Wars toys, but they clearly still homage the same characters from the Beast Wars era. I mean, we've literally got the same design, they're the same alt modes, they're the same color schemes, but they're just modern updates to it. And you could enjoy those toys, and a lot of people seem to be, and just ignore the Netflix show, which I think
and that's fine. There's going to be a couple of the figures in the line that I probably will get to fill in gaps, but yeah, it's when they start to speak on a cartoon.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. There's absolutely no There's absolutely no reason to have confidence that the voice cast for this will be any better. I'm a-okay with this pessimism.
Hey, Brad, just quickly, how do you rate the Optimus Primal toy from Kingdom? Because that was the only one I picked up, and I'm not a Beast Wars fan at all, but I like the look of it.
And Tony really wants validation.
The alt mode seems to be going for the toy version and not the cartoon version.
Right.
I don't know why. It seems like they're just updating the toy and not the cartoon model.
Yeah.
Just because what we got with the Masterpiece version is that smooth CG version of Primal that we had, where for this one they've gone for that more hairy ape, air quotes, which was definitely in the toy. And then for the 15th anniversary when they redone it, and I made the joke, it looks like the gorilla from Tarzan. But it's sort of it's one of those things. I want us to move on.
Yeah.
And I'll just end it out quickly. If you're gonna take the original figures and update them and do your own things to them, that's fine. Yeah. It's a hard sell making, especially with Beast Wars, where there's such a difference between the toys. And like G1 as well. If you're going to do a G1 accurate Prime, well, you're not going to do it like G1 toy because the G1 toy was a brick. You're going to update it. You're going to get what we got with Earthrise and that, which I've got the Earthrise Prime and trailer. Fantastic update of the figure. I just don't want to see that every year, and now we're starting to get Beast Wars stuff. This stuff's good. Megatron looks fantastic. It's not $450 like the Masterpiece version. Don't do the same thing next year and paint it pink, blue, whatever, and try and sell it again.
Grey.
You just want a bit more variety, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think we don't know what they're going to do next year. I don't necessarily think they're going to reuse the Kingdom molds next year. I think they will move on to something new next year.
G1 Prime Megatron yet again.
Maybe. So the person who's just posted on Facebook, is there any date for Dinobot's release in Australia? Officially, no, we don't really know. But given that he's been coming out in the States in the last week or so and in Asia in the last few weeks, I don't think he's far away. We've seen the Wave 2 cores, so it's not like they've brought up figures and then just dumped Wave 1 on us and stopped. So I think these guys will be coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's out in the States and he's out in Canada as well, so he's coming.
Now, I'm going to move us on. We have a few minutes, and we might put the last story off until next week. But we have a few minutes to discuss the news that Takara has announced this week that they are making a coronation set for their new Masterpiece Starscream. This is MP52. And at the same time, they've also announced that they will be doing Skywarp in the same mold, but they haven't actually announced him for launch yet. So what's going to happen here? And before anyone starts freaking out, the set that is pictured here is not the new set. This is the MP11 set. As it does say in the Japanese text at the bottom of the image, there is a very clear MP11.
Yeah.
But the coronation set for Starscream will be given via mail-away redemption. So as long as you purchase Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, you'll get a piece of the thing that's required with each of them, and then you'll be able to redeem those for a free coronation set. You'll just have to pay postage. So we don't really know what it's going to look like. It might have real cloth this time around. Who knows? But also, they've also just confirmed that they're doing Skywarp, so I'm totally in for that. I've pre-ordered Starscream, I've pre-ordered Thundercracker, both very enthusiastically. So I'm totally there for an update to Masterpiece Skywarp, and I think they're going to do them pretty fast. I think it's going to be pretty soon before possibly even before the end of the year, because Starscream comes out I think June or July, and Thundercracker comes out October. I reckon Skywarp might be a November-December release. We'll see.
I'd love any sort of feedback from listeners, transformerscca.com, at gmail.com, or even on the Facebook page. If you'd be buying the Coronation kit or Starscream just to have the Coronation kit on it, if you display the original one or the MP11 with it, I just wonder how big a draw card it is for collectors. If it comes in the box, that's an accessory to display it in, but we've had this conversation, Jason, about the third party, the one that come out and.
Yeah, that's fine. So there's a couple of different viewpoints on this. One is that MP44, the Optimus Prime 3.0, came so laden with accessories that it put the price into the stratosphere. And a lot of people look at that and they're like, why is there a Starscream head with MP44? Why did I pay for that? And so on the one hand, I'm happy for them to put these accessories out as a separate pack. And I do apologise if you can hear the barking dog in the background in my microphone. I'm happy for them to remove the accessories from that set, and so that people who don't want them don't have to pay for them. But also, remember that this set is free. So you kind of are already paying for it, you're just not getting it.
Yeah.
I will also just say that I think the price for the new Masterpiece Seekers is actually pretty reasonable. They're depending on the exchange rate and the time that you order, they're anywhere between $270 to $300. That's much cheaper than we've seen the newer larger Masterpiece figures go for. So if you can get a Coronation kit out of that as well, then fair enough. I actually don't display my Starscream with a Coronation kit, so at least I don't think I do. Wait a sec.
Well, the option's there at least to do it.
He doesn't have his Coronation kit on. Like that's the thing, right? Like it's there as an option if you want to, but the question also is like, do you need this kit? Like, is it super important to you to display your Starscream? It's not important to me at all, but some people do like to recreate that particular scene from the movie. I'm fine with a classic look to Starscream that doesn't include the Coronation look. But there you go.
It's not important up until the point where they release a Masterpiece Galvatron, and you want to have those two facing off in your display.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like this is the kind of kit that would appeal to those people that bought into the Centurion drone stuff, with all those little mini accessories that you wanted, those tiny things. This feels like the same possible sort of appeal. Yeah,
entirely possible. I think that's about it, guys. We're just coming up to an hour. Do you guys have any new acquisitions you'd like to talk about?
I do. Brad, do you have anything?
I have one. I don't know where the others went, but I don't know how this is going to be to see either because of my darkness.
Is it the darkness of your soul or just the darkness of your camera?
The darkness of my heart. I'm holding up here the Transformers Bumblebee version of Jeep B. He's very small for a deluxe, but just I'm going to turn him around because we all display our figures backwards. He's a nice little squat full figure for what he is. Even though the back of the legs are taken up with his wheels and that. I've got the Starscream as well. Sorry, Blitzwing. Just getting a couple of the last of the Bumblebee figures I was after because I've got no interest in Earthrise or Kingdom at the moment. So just catching up with that. I still need to get a Shatter, Scatter, plane mode, and I'll nearly have the B figures done.
I've actually got a Jeep Mode B sitting over a little to my right. I just haven't actually opened him yet, so I'm glad that you're happy with him.
Yeah, I definitely like him more than the Volkswagen version. Just a lot more angles, a lot more sort of panel forming, more things going on than what the Volkswagen version has.
Cool. Tony, how about yourself? You've got video?
Oh,
there we go.
Just this little dude here. And I was spending time watching the old cartoon and the season 2 episode of the Golden Lagoon, and
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, it just started making me feel like quite nostalgic for some of these old ones. And I had a version of the original sort of G1 Beachcomber, but then I thought this Power of the Primes version isn't too bad either in its transformed mode. There were some issues around the back in trying to get these little bars, the top of the Jeep, to actually get them to join together. I had a lot of trouble with that, so I think that might be a manufacturing QC issue again, because they just wouldn't join up. But it's a good little figure, and it reminded me a lot of, there was a golden Beachcomber figure that came out a while back. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, the Golden
Yeah.
Lagoon set. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is quite a nice, cheap substitute for for getting the more expensive golden version.
Yeah, I don't think the Golden Lagoon one is worth the premium, to be honest.
No, absolutely not. It looked okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the high end stuff recently, but just some of these Legends figures, Sea Spray, a lot of the other small Legends figures that have been coming out for the last few years are just fantastic. Nor and that for Power of the Primes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're just great. You can troop build them, although you wouldn't troop build Beach Coma, but just some great little figures you display on your shelf. You know exactly who they are. At conventions and that when we're displaying, people know exactly who they are as well. So
Yeah. I ended up picking up 2 of the Brawns for that reason, Brad. Just because I just loved the transformation. It was so quick and simple, and had a couple just lying around the house now.
yeah,
Fantastic.
fantastic detail.
So looking at my desk, I do have a couple of acquisitions. I'm not sure. No, I wouldn't have talked about this last week because we didn't do a show last week. So I'm just going to bring this guy up. That is a Generation Select Deep cover. He is a Siege Sidesweep repaint. There we go. If I'll put him in front of me so that the camera actually focuses on him. He looks fantastic. That color scheme is fantastic. It's great. It's nice to have sort of the darker color scheme because the last repaint that we saw was Tiger Track. It was bright yellow. Also a very well deserved remold, and not so much of a remold, but a repaint. So yeah, I'm very happy with Deep cover. He's got fantastic color scheme, fantastic details. There you go. You can camera's managed to focus on him nicely now.
That's great.
So yeah, really, really happy with his colours, and he's even got his little law enforcement badge stuck there as well.
Just seeing his colours up on the screen there, Jace, it reminded me of someone had photoshopped a picture of Deep cover into making him look like a Pepsi Max can.
Yes, I saw that. I would also just like to draw special attention to the grey colour of his crotch as well, just so that
that is pretty grey.
Yeah,
that is a very deep grey. Yeah.
Very deep grey. Yeah,
I'm glad you can.
I also acquired in a bit of a blast from the past. I was on one of Nick's live auctions a few weeks ago, and this douchebag Sentinel Prime came up, and I do already have him. He's sitting in Melbourne at my dad's house, but The voice actor for Sentinel Prime was a guest at TF Nation last year, and they had him do a talk show FaceTime with Sentinel Prime, and also knowing how this character played out in what would have been season 4 of Animated. Really, I just really wanted to have this guy back in my collection. So thanks very much to Nick for selling him to me at a great price. And he's fantastic.
We were talking before about toys from the cartoon looking good, figures from the cartoon looking good in toy form. Animated was jam. It was great.
You got to remember though, like the animated figures look great as long as you sort of pose them one way. Like they do lack some serious articulation. Like they don't have ankle tilts. They don't, in most cases, their wrists don't even move around or anything. So like they do look great as long as you pose them the way that they're meant to pose, and the way that they look. So yeah, I'm going to arrange things that way so it looks like Tony's looking at the two of us again. That is about it. Do you guys have anything that we need to add before we finish the show?
I would like to mention, I didn't mention earlier with the convention you got going up there. I'm sure we've all got the voice changer Bumblebee or Prime helmet in our collections or in our storeroom. Throw it on your head, get out, get to a convention. It's been probably a year and a half since we've done a convention, and we need to get some fresh photos up and all that sort of stuff. So I donated one of my Prime helmets to Goodwill to Vinny's yesterday, so I'm down one, but COVID safe. Get the helmet on.
Yeah, so as long as you've got one helmet, then like we can't pass it around to people. But yeah, I might just wear the helmet and sound like Bumblebee the whole time. Beep, 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 beep. I think that's about it. Anyone got anything else to do? Nah.
Sleep.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Sleep is great. I will
Sleep.
release you for sleep in about 2 minutes' time. Everyone, thank you for listening. If you're watching along with the live record, we have seen a few of those numbers popping up at the top of the screen. Thank you for checking us out. If you'd like to find out more about these stories, you will find links to them all and more in the show notes posted to the Transformers Weekly Facebook page and on the Podbean site when the episodes get released. If you'd like to get in touch with us, we would love you to. We do like listener feedback. You can contact us all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. The Facebook page is Australian Transformers Weekly, and the website is transformersweekly.podbean.com. If you're not already subscribed, you can find us on iTunes, Pocket Casts, YouTube, all sorts of podcatchers, and more. The RSS feed is on the website and in the show notes if you don't have it already. And I'm going to cough. My apologies. And now I have to do this last bit of boilerplate. Australian Transformers Weekly is a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. TCCA is a registered club in Victoria, run by volunteers who donate their time and money and Sunday nights to make the club better for everyone. Our goal is to connect Transformers fans around the country. We do it by engaging the collecting community. Thank you very much for your support, everyone. You may join the club. You'll find affordable yearly membership options at transformerscca.com. That is it. It's been a couple of weeks since the last episode. We've done a few episodes this year, though, so I don't think it's fair to say that we only do we do occasional episodes. So we are aiming to keep more to a regular weekly schedule. So I would very much like that to happen. That is all from us. So I say this: we'll be back with more Transformers news next week, possibly the week after. We'll see how we go.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, and we'll be back at some point. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.